Thank you, Your Excellency, Mrs. Arya Ali, First Lady of the Republic of Guyana, for being here with us today to talk about your life work, your achievements, and all that you have been involved with, which is very remarkable. And we thought to shine the spotlight on your work so that the world will see what you're doing. We still see, I'm sure most of your work is out there. But much more, we want to know much more of what you're doing, and that's why we invited you for the interview and the conference in New York as well. So thank you for your time.
And thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so just jump into the interview. We're going to talk about the inspiration for your work, public service work. You have had an impressive career from your time at the Guyana Revenue Authority to becoming the youngest First Lady in the history of Guyana. What inspired you to pursue public service, and how has that shaped your current role as First Lady?
Well, let me first say, in all honesty, it was never a dream or an aspiration to become First Lady. And I have never had an interest in politics until I met my husband. But I have developed a great love for public service at the Guyana Revenue Authority, and I have contributed meaningfully to the development of our country through the enforcement of our tax regulations. And that did two things for me. It provided me with a great insight and an appreciation for the contributions of the working class. And secondly, I developed a great sense of discipline because I came straight out of university, straight into the world of work. And that have given me some great discipline in the areas of my life. And it basically set the stage for the platform I currently have.
Great, impressive, impressive. You are a mother, First Lady with several national projects. How do you balance your personal life with your advocacy work, and what strategies do you employ to stay grounded in your mission despite the several roles you play?
I can say my role as a mother and a First Lady, I can see it as one or the same, but let me explain what I mean by that. As a mom, it is my duty to care for my two boys, whom are little boys, 1 and 5 years old. And they require a lot of love, attention, and support. And I want them rather to have the best versions of themselves. And similarly, with my duty as First Lady, I advocate for and I provide support to the vulnerable and those in vulnerable situations in our society. For example, our children, or women and girls, or persons with disabilities, or orphans. I believe that they too must reach their highest potential and be their best versions of themselves. So there's no difficulty in managing my personal life with my advocacy. I believe my work is just an expansion of my role as a mom.
So very superb insight there. I have never heard that insight before. Thank you for that. We're delving into advocacy and social work, and addressing focus on period poverty. Recently, I came in, worked with a partner, and there was so much light that was shed on the issue of period poverty. And it is an issue that seems as if it's known, but also unknown. There are a lot of things, issues around it that is covered. And we found that you have a huge role to play here in your work. Your menstrual hygiene initiative has been transformative for many girls in Guyana. Can you share more about the impact that this initiative has had on the community and how you see it evolving in the future?
Well, let me first say the menstrual hygiene initiative was a very, very ambitious project. And I beam with a lot of pride, proud. I'm very, very happy with the work that we have done so far. And let me just delve into the impact. We have provided free sanitary products to more than 32,000 schoolgirls every year. And that is, let me just give you to some perspective. That is, we cover 100% of our secondary school age girls countrywide. That is every girl child in secondary school. So there are no words to describe the impact of this project. We have garnered support from women, men, girls, little secondary school girls. And as you know, every woman or girl menstruating has a story to tell. And they have contributed meaningfully to this project in whatever way possible. If it was monetary donations, if they came in to just tell a story, if they came to just be a part of the distribution. So yeah, we have had little girls who would have received these products come and tell us a little bit of how impactful it has been for them, and also they have also contributed in whatever little way to the project. So let me say, for instance, the girls in the hinterland regions, they are now attending school uninterrupted because they now have access to these sanitary products. And previously, thousands of girls would have missed school several days each year because they cannot afford or have access to sanitary pads. And believe me, there are situations where girls have used unhygienic methods, and that would have caused them health complications. So the goal of this project is to expand coverage to ensure that in the future, every woman and girl in Guyana have access to free sanitary products, so at no cost to them. And I can safely say we are well on our way there.
Impressive, really impressive. Those figures you mentioned there are really impressive. Period poverty, like you said, has become a global issue and it needs urgent tackling. And most people, organizations involved in this have several ways that they tackle this. We want to know what innovative methods can be adopted by different countries that are grappling with this challenge from your own perspective.
So for me, I think the root cause of period poverty, regardless of location, it remains the same. I would say it's affordability and or the accessibility to sanitary products. So I managed to lobby the government successfully in 2021 to provide a subvention in the national budget. And since then, this guarantees the provision of sanitary products to our schoolgirls for 1 year. We also partnered with local companies which sell sanitary products to have them match the prices and the quantity of the product. So if we buy, for instance, if we buy 10 cases, they're willing to give an additional 10 cases for free. And that same company also gave us at a reduced price. So, and we also managed to get the government and the Guyana Revenue Authority, which is a tax authority in Guyana, to cut the taxes on sanitary products. So those were some of the ways we did it.
Those are great approaches, and I think a lot of people will learn from that. So thank you. Like I said, you're a woman with many hats. We're delving into your work empowering vulnerable groups through your inclusivity initiative. You sought to integrate vulnerable populations into society. What specific challenges have you encountered promoting inclusivity, and what are the key successes so far?
It's the reluctance to hire. I have found there's a reluctance by companies and businesses to hire persons with disabilities. And despite me making personal representation for them, these companies tend to say they're less productive because of their disability, and it's more likely to affect their profitability. And of course, nothing can be further from the truth because we continue to work with highly educated, remarkable, successful persons who represent our country on some of the biggest stages in the world. But challenges like these provide unique opportunities for us. While we won't abandon our advocacy for greater levels of inclusivity, we will also take steps to ensure we integrate these persons into society and empower them. We have already built a business center which will be managed exclusively by persons with disabilities. And as we speak, we're currently working on outfitting and furnishing this center. This center, it will offer a range of goods and services, and this will allow them to actively participate in our economy and improve their lives. We want them to be financial independent.
Yeah. Yes, that's so correct. We
Mhm.
look forward to the impact that this the inclusivity initiatives will bring, and it promises. From what you have narrated, it promises to yield great impact. Delving into your support for women and girls, which is at the heart of what we do in your journey to empower women, especially through the menstrual hygiene initiative. What other programs or policies are you advocating for to ensure that the rights of women, rights that ensure that girls and women have equal opportunities for success?
Well, as I mentioned before, I have introduced a number of gender-specific training programs to ensure that our women and girls have greater access to opportunities for their own successes.
Mm,
And so far, we have built two homes, one for a sibling family and other for a family who the mother is the breadwinner for her teenage daughters and her ailing husband. And currently, we're building another home for a family of 6 females.
mm,
I also introduced a program which grants are provided to women to start their own businesses. And this 3 women who graduated from the Road to Growth program, which is offered by the Sherry Blair Foundation, were provided grants totaling 7,500 US dollars, and that is to establish their own businesses.
impressive, really impressive. You support children as well and youth development, early childhood development programs as well. Given your commitment to social initiatives, do you have any ongoing projects that focus on early childhood education or development? And how important is it, from your perspective, is to invest in the youngest generation for Guyana's future?
Uh, yes, and that's through the Inclusivity Initiative. My office provides career guidance and counseling services to children with disabilities, and that's through a local NGO. And this program benefits about 120 children with disabilities each year. And that focuses on their individual needs and equipping them with the necessary tools and resources to support their academic and their personal development. We also provide counseling services to children in institutional care, such as those in orphanages, through the Adopt an Orphanage initiative. And given Guyana's trajectory, I cannot emphasize enough on how important it is to invest in our children, to have the kind of future we envision for a beautiful country. In about 30 to 40 years, Ghana will be vastly a different country from what it is today. And that is the younger generation that will occupy the most important positions, I'm certain.
Mm,
And that is critical for all of us. And of course, we have to properly train and equip them to tackle the challenges that, lie ahead.
mm. Yes, taking and building from what you said now, talking about youth and unemployment, which is a huge concern. What do you think? How do we tackle youth unemployment in Guyana and across the world as well? And how do you use your platform to create more opportunities for these young people to get engaged?
So even though young employment, unemployment rather, remains a challenge in all parts of the world, including right here in Ghana, we're seeing our number drop because of the changes in our economy. It is deemed as one of the fastest growing economy in the world. So there is greater So right now, there's greater access to education and training opportunities for young people. We have more than 25,000 Guyanese are currently studying at the tertiary level
mm,
through a program called GOAL, while 12,000 have received skills training through another body that's called the Board of Industrial Training. And with the expansion of oil and gas in Guyana, it is providing us with greater access to employment opportunities for young people, and to the point where Guyana is currently experiencing an acute labor shortage.
oh, wow.
So my focus has been on vulnerable groups such as persons with disabilities and orphans, but because I believe they need special attention. So for the persons with disabilities, we will soon open that business center I mentioned earlier, which will roughly employ 50 persons with disabilities. And they will manufacture and retail products and also provide a wide variety of services. So it is my intention to have one of these centers in each of our 10 administrative regions. So that's 50 persons at 10 administrative regions. So that creates employment for each region there. And my office also provides educational opportunities through scholarships to our orphans and to assist in finding employment opportunities for them rather. So we have created a register which specifies the person's disability for persons with disabilities, their skill set, and their qualifications. And this register was provided to corporate Guyana. And we hope and have some of these persons already employed with some of the businesses. And same goes for the persons, for our children in institutional care. So from high school, they would have gathered their CXCs, which is their qualifications after high school. And from that, we would have corporate Guyana hire them or train them for their various jobs.
Mm, mm. Looks like a well thought out and coordinated plan there. I want to
Mhm.
talk about your mentorship. You mentor many young individuals. What advice would you give to a young woman in Guyana who aspire to leadership roles and want to make a meaningful difference in their communities, but they don't know how to go about it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big your dream is. That's my advice. It doesn't matter how big your dream is. I think you have to get up, you have to get out, and you have to shatter those glass ceilings.
That's very punchy and concise. Yes, shatter
Mhm.
has been excellence. Yes, no matter what, how big it is, just keep going.
No,
Thank you.
keep
Thank you for
on.
keep going. So looking back at your achievements and ongoing achievements, and since you became First Lady, which initiative or projects are you most proud of? And how do you hope that your work will continue to inspire future generations of leaders in Guyana?
Well, I have to say, I'm very proud of all the work my team and I have accomplished so far as being First Lady. But I must mention that had it not been for the support and the involvement of hundreds of ordinary Guyanese, we probably would not have been here or been as successful as we are. So that's where the credit is due. But as a young woman, I feel deeply connected to the menstrual hygiene initiative because I have witnessed firsthand the transformative power of restoring confidence to these women and girls. Also, I believe the story which birthed this project will forever be in my heart. So just a few years ago, in one of our indigenous communities, one of our indigenous girls committed suicide because she experienced her menstruation. And she just did not know what to do with it or how to cope with it or what it was actually. So she presumed she was sick and dying, and she tragically took her life. And since then, we have worked every day with the hope of reaching every single girl and woman in Guyana so that this would never repeat itself.
Wow, that's a powerful story. And such stories what drives the desire to continue to do and to work for girls and women. Thank you for sharing that story. We are going to talk about your feature in the Global Power Women Yearbook, and as well as the awards being conferred on you during the Global Power Women Conference 2024. You have featured your feature in this Global Power Women Yearbook, which is a collection of stories of influential women, tales of triumph, tales of innovation, influence woven by the world's most influential women. This feature, featuring you in this book, undoubtedly highlights your impact and influence on a global scale. How do you feel about being recognized alongside other influential women? And what message do you hope that your inclusion sends to aspiring leaders, especially women around the world?
First, I'd like to thank the Center of Economic and Leadership Development for recognizing my work, and giving me this award. It is most humbling, and so I'm accepting it on behalf of every little girl and every woman in Guyana. I am but a mere reflection of the thousands of women and girls who work every day unnoticed to make this world a better and safer place for women and girls and other groups in vulnerable situations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What is your opinion, I want to ask, about the impact of this Global Power Women Yearbook, especially as it chronicles the stories that pays homage to the tenacity of women who have defied norms and shattered glass ceilings?
I'm again humbled to be featured in the timeless Global Power Women Yearbook, and I believe it is a great gesture to recognize and amplify the contributions of women who are leading positive change in their countries and beyond. I see this as one way of inspiring the next generation of women leaders to stand upon the shoulders of their predecessors and continue the fight for gender parity.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom. We know your work, we see your work, we follow your work. You've narrated some of them here, but I know that a lot of our viewers will want to know what is next for Her Excellency, Mrs. Arya Ali.
Well, on a personal note, I hope to extend our little family and spend some more time with two boys. But while I spend the next year managing our ongoing projects and programs with the hope that my husband will be re-elected for a second term, we can definitely build upon the successes and expand our current initiatives.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. It was very short but insightful interview with you, and we hope to connect more in the future, especially when we meet during in New York for the conference. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and see you soon.
Yes, see you soon. See you soon. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.